Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today we're going to be taking part in the Festival Super Singleton event, which you may see that I've already played a little bit of, and you honestly haven't missed out. I've been playing with this Bant Midrange list, and people have been auto-scooping to me. However, we're going to be playing it today, and we're going to be playing it as though nobody just auto-scoops to me. That's what quality content is coming your way. So, this is Singleton. 100 cards for this particular event, and we're going to be doing a Bant mid-range style with a, you know me very well at this point, a flicker sub-theme. So there's some nice flickering going on, lots of cards with enter the battlefield abilities, and you may also notice at the bottom right here there's a Spark Hunter Mastercore. What I've noticed is a lot of the games from the people who are trying very hard end up being Planeswalker decks, so, you know, to hate on Super Friends, I'm just adding a Spark Hunter Manticore. It does come at the additional cost of discarding a card, but it does have protection from Planeswalkers, and can become indestructible to protect it from board wipes, so I feel like it should, as long as you protect it properly, just win you the game on the spot. Yeah, that's essentially why this one's in here. There's a lot of Super Friends lists, so we're hitting a little bit stronger on them, and basically killing permanents with, like, Banishing Lights, Prison Realms, Faith Fetters, and Conclave Tribunals, things like that. So we should be able to deal with them nicely. But yes, this is a flicker sub-theme in a bad mid-range kind of shell. So there's lots of card draw, which means, you know, mid-range cards like Jol Rail make it into the 100 card pile, which is a 1/2. Whenever you draw a card, you get to make a 2/2 cat creature token, and then you can change the base power and toughness of all your creatures based off the cards you got in your hand. We have all of our flicker sub-themes as well that you might expect, things like Thassa, Deep Dwelling. We also have some ETB triggers on things like Chew Lane. And if anyone saw our Emil the Blessed deck from a previous Historic Brawl video, there's a lot of cards that you expect to see from the Emil deck in here as well, with the added bonus of having extra blues to back it up. So we've got Blessed Sanctuary. Whenever non-tokens enter the battlefield, you create a 2/2 Unicron. Also prevents non-combat damage that will be dealt to creatures you control. We also have Cathar's Crusade, a 5-mana enchantment. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you put a counter on each creature you control. We have Lurking Predators, secretly just one of the best cards in, I would say, any Singleton format, as long as it gets to stick around. Unfortunately, for some unknown, ungodly reason, 3 Fairy is not banned in this format. However, Nexus of Fate in a 100-card deck format is. So, you know, priorities, Wizards. Priorities, get them straight. But yeah, Lurking Predators, if it does get to stick around, says whenever an opponent casts a spell, reveal the top card of your library, and if it is a creature card, you put it onto the battlefield. Otherwise, you put it on the bottom of your library. We are running a grand total of 41 out of 100 creatures, which is probably a little bit lower than you would hope for with the Lurking Predators. In a previous version, I had about 50. But it had too many sub-themes and didn't do very well, so I cut it and destroyed it and burnt it, and you will never see it. We do have to finish off things like Craterhoof Behemoth as well, 8 mana 5/5. When it enters the battlefield, creatures you control get trample and +X/+X until the end of the turn, where X is the number of creatures you control. And this is something we can also tutor up with Finale of Devastation as well. This was the old Craterhoofing style deck, so if you went with X equals 10 or more, you would give your creatures +X/+X and haste until the end of the turn. So you would basically have to give them trample somehow, which you did that with Endra's Foreigners for an X10. We also have Kamal's Druidic Vow in here, because there is actually a very large amount of legendary creatures in here. I would say it's a sub-theme, but it's really not. We're not running, like, Mox Ambers and things like that, and there's no, like, legendary sorceries other than Kamal's Druidic Vow that we're actually really taking use of. I did have Temporal Sundering in here, but to cut the curve, it ended up getting cut, which you might expect. We do have Captain Sisay, though. We can search our library for legendary cards, which in most cases, if we're going up against those Super Friends kind of decks, it's going to be the Immortal Sun to shut off Planeswalkers. We're only running the 1 with Vivian Monster's Advocate, because the passive on this one is actually one of the reasons to run this card. So even with Immortal Sun in play, the passive will still do its job. Otherwise, it gets to tick up and make beasts with different counters on it. Or you can tick down to do a pseudo finale whenever you cast a creature spell. Next, you get to search your library for a creature card with less converted mana cost than that one. So, you know, we can do like a huge Voracious Hydra and basically get the pick of the litter at that point. Something like that, anyway. But yeah, without further ado, that's about all I'm going to go into with the deck. If I looked at every single card, we'd be here all day. And, you know, this deck tech's already going on quite some time. 100 cards, I think it's 37 lands, yeah. And again, for some reason, Field of Dead's not banned in this format, so we're going to be running it because why not? And yeah, if you do enjoy the content, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Let's get to it. This video is brought to you by the generous support of our wonderful patrons and channel members that you see here. If you'd like to support the channel and get access to cool content like sneak peeks, bonus videos, polls on future content, or access to a personal deck critique from myself every month, then hit the join button down below, or check out the Patreon link in the description. With all that said, let's get into the gameplay. Alrighty then, let's have a look-see. We have a 3-lander with a scry land and a fetch land. Yeah. And our current cards, they're not particularly good. I don't understand why this one doesn't have a free mulligan and Brawl does. There's so many things about this format that I just don't understand. I think that's becoming immediately obvious at this point. I think we keep this. I don't know, the real reason I'm not too keen on it is mostly because I feel like Temple of Mysteries are turn 1 play, but, you know, Evolving Wilds is going to upset that scry a little bit, so maybe we do it turn 3 instead. We'll just go Evolving Wilds here. And we do have the double green. We've got... is either blue or white. We do have a white, technically, and we're going to take our time to decide now, because I just noticed we got Your Goad. I think we'll go with the blue. Yeah, we're going with the blue. I'm not wasting your time, chat. I'll waste my opponents all day, but not yours. Alright, Island go. Your go, Solar Fall. Alright, so do we do Charming Prince, or should we just do Temple of Mystery? We're going to shock next turn either way. I think we'll go Temple, now that we've fetched. Brazen Borrower is just a solid card that I would like to have in my life. We can bounce it with Niambi maybe later down the line. So I'm assuming our opponent is like a colorless tribal kind of deck. I'm just going to go Charming Prince for a scry and see if we can set up a good draw for turn 4. If we can get to like Vivian and things like that, it's going to be nice. 3, 4, 5... yeah, we'll put Dream Eater to the bottom. It's nice, but we don't have card draw to get to that 6th land consistently. So I think we'll just be happy with the island for our turn 5 Vivian. And see where we go from there. So yeah, Mirrodin's core makes me think this is just 5-color Super Friends like everyone else. And it appears to be. Totally original deck from our opponent. Alright, well, I think I'm just gonna bounce the Domri. We're gonna swing in with the Charming Prince. And then we'll pass. We'll flash in Niambi to bounce the Charming Prince, but we'll wait on that one just in case they want to use some removal on it for some reason. You know, they might have a Planeswalker that minuses to kill, something like that. And in which case we'd be totally fine. Well, if you'd have taken the time to think out your player's opponent, you might have not made that mistake. You know, instead of You're Going Me, could take the time to figure out if your plays are worth doing. Alright, take up. And we'll give a Vigilance creature. You see this symbol here? This is an indicator of how much time you have been allotted. If you're not using that time effectively, you're going to make mistakes. And if you're allowing people to push you into not using it, that is a strategy for them. So take your time. There comes a point, obviously, when you're being roped almost every turn where you can Your Go. I fully accept that. And I imagine for my opponents, you know, my commentary admittedly will slow me down a little bit, which can be a little bit annoying. Never going to deny that. But, you know, a little bit of patience goes a long way. Let's see. So, we can actually go with a Vivian minus, play Yorion. That's pretty sick, actually. I think I'll do that. So, we're gonna swing at you. We're gonna minus Vivian. Gonna play Yorion. And 4 drops. What do we want? We could get Thassa. Could get Sparky D. Sparky D's pretty good. We don't have anything... Ooh, Spark Hunter Manticore. That might be okay. I kind of want something that's kind of protected from board wipes, I guess. So I'm actually going to go with Thassa. Since Thassa can flicker Yorion, so we're going to flicker you and you.
I didn't expect to be prey.
So, flicker Yorion. Oh, triggers. See, didn't take my time. Alright, bounce Yorion. It's fine. Game 5. If we'd have done it the other way around, then Yorion would have been able to flicker Nyambe out of combat. It doesn't make too much of a difference, but... You know, it was there. Okay. And Domri. So which 4-drop do we want next? Do we just get Questing Beast? It's pretty hateful against Planeswalkers. Heroic Reinforcements. Sure. Totally fine.
Fear is a tool. Use it.
Fear is a tool. Okay, so we do boop, boop and boop. We trade 1 and Vivian takes 2. So we're not going to be able to do our little flicker combo this turn. Unfortunately, but that's okay. Instead, we'll just go tick up, make a Vigilant Creature. We'll do... what do we want to do? I think we'll play a Gift of Paradise on an island. And then from there, I could see myself doing Llanowar Elves and Charming Prince, to be honest. Could have maybe done Charming Prince first, just in case we have a Gilded Goose on top, but that's really, like, I think the only application for that being the case. And we don't want Thriving Grove. Oh, yes, we want that. Hello, Super Friends deck. With a current issue that Immortal Sun will create. We'll scry again so we can... Yeah, I'll take the Faith's Fetters for a Planeswalker underneath that as well. Just in case to get rid of Immortal Sun. Seems good to me. Oh, they're thinking now. No, 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 no. No, it's your go. You don't have time to think. No time to think at all. Win or lose. We've got, you know, we've got to stick to our guns here. Can't be taking your time. Ugin, who cannot be effed. Gets rid of Viv. That's fine. Should stop doing much useful stuff, though, by the time the heroic reinforcements have come through. She's fine. Would have been able to reset her somewhat with the Orion, but still. How convenient. You can have another land. Enjoy that. I guess I should have given you a mana rock. Yeah. There I go again, not thinking my plays through. Alright, so the Planeswalkers don't work. This is a very important piece of information. However, they do still die and probably should. I should probably try to kill them as best I can. Okay. Because if they ever get rid of the Immortal Sun, they will come back. And then we'll get our free scry. We do want the Face Fetters, but we want to know what's underneath it as well. I don't care about my life at this point. Tolsimir, not good enough. Not Planeswalker hatey enough. Probably want that Manticore at this stage. So the Planeswalkers don't work, which means I've shut off half their deck. They need the answer in their deck, things like Night of Autumn, to take care of the Immortal Sun. So we've got basically until that actually occurs in order to beat our opponent. And Solarfall, sorry buddy, but yeah. That's how we do in this particular game of Singleton. We hate with the Immortal Sun. If you're ever going to play this format, hate on Super Friends like crazy, because honestly, it's been probably like 60% of my games. It's pretty absurd. And 3 fairies not banned, so, you know, Immortal Sun them all day. But yeah, let's go for the next game. Ooh, we've got the third thing to showcase. I don't know if I actually in the intro told you what you could unlock by partaking in this 2,500 gold event. It's actually some alternative art styles, and this one's going to be Solemn Simulacrum. So I'm going to go apply this style because I have this card in my deck, even though I think I kind of prefer current Solemn. But yeah, you get Grim Tutor, you get Scavenging Ooze, which is not really in the deck, but it could be, and then Solemn Simulacrum as well. Anyway, it's the next game. Alrighty then, the Curse of the Two-Lander continues. For some reason and I don't want to go in the conspiracy theory things, but I'm going to. I seem to always get 2 landers in this format. I cannot help myself but get 2 landers with 37 lands. But, you know, is what it is. I do wonder if there's any algorithm applied to your opening hand in this particular one, because in the unranked, you do have the opening hand algorithm that picks a best 7 out of 2 hands, and then after the mulligans, then it's actually just random. But it assumes that this is the best one, and it's not the worst, but I don't think just Elvish Visionary alone is really good enough for me to keep that hand. And this one's great if I can find a green source. It's actually fantastic if I can find a green source. YOLO. We will go with... That's a weird one. I'm almost tempted to go for a land, since none of these lands technically matter, and I've got lots of 2 and 3 drops. Visionary is one that I'm thinking of as well to get rid of, but maybe it's the Arc Bow. Arc Bow is much better later down the line, so maybe we can shuffle it back in. Who knows? Alright, let's just go with Field of the Dead here. Could have been Ardenvale, actually, might have been the stronger one, but got a Fibblethip, so give me a green land. Come on, Greenland. That is a 5-drop. You are trolling me, Shuffler. You are trolling me. Greatly. Alright. 20-turn clock. You're on it. What will you do, Prox? They don't stand a chance. Fibblethip, unbeatable. Just remember, like, you know, when he gets targeted by a spell, you shuffle him in, which means he doesn't die. OP. Alright, our opponent might be on blue-white. If they're on control, I'm going to be very upset. They have hexproof? Okay, well, I have nothing to play. How about that? I don't need to target your face if I can't play spells. And all you do is counter them. I think that's exactly what we're up against. I think this is blue-white control in a 100-card Singleton deck. Prison Realm, my Fibblethip. They are afraid of that 20-turn clock, I'm telling you. Scries to the top, yep. Tap land, fantastic. We would like... Well, I'd like double green, but can't have that. Go with white, I guess. I think I got much double blue in here. That's a lie. There's 2 right there. Ah, yep, 5 fairy.
We need to move quickly.
We need to move quickly. Yes, we do. Alright, 3 mana for that absorb they've got in their hand. I could do nothing about. 5-drop. Lovely. And leave the game. Alright, another 2-lander. Surprise, surprise. I'm going to keep this one, though, because it does have a temple, which is fine. And, you know, a couple of 2-drops. Spark Hunter Manicore, exceptionally powerful against a lot of decks. So we're going to keep this one. We're going to assume our opponents are also on Super Friends, because it is the only viable deck in this format, apparently. And, yeah, anything that's not a land goes in the trash. Next turn, we've got either the Bond of Flourishing or the Charming Prince. I don't think it's Fable Passage. Then we'll just do Charming Prince and we'll set up our next draw. Yes, we definitely want that even though we can't cast it, and whatever's under it doesn't really matter because we're going to have to fetch with Fable Passage and go Bond of Flourishing most likely. So, let's see. Are they super friends? It would make sense. Yeah, we're in Grixis. So, leave my hand alone so that I can be at peace. Let's see. Bond of Flourishing. Give me a land. Wow. Wow. Sure. That's just rude. We'll draw that next turn, it's fine. I would like to have Master Core down on turn 6, ideally, but I might have to get it down earlier just so that it can deal with all these Planeswalkers that we're about to fire off against. But the indestructibility is kind of what I want to hold open at all times. So I'll take the bond, we'll bond again, we'll find a land. Field of Ruin. Better than nothing. Play that. We'll crack this for... I don't think it's Ageless Insight we're cracking for. I think we'll just try set up for a card we don't have. So it'd be either green or white. I think I've got more double greens in my deck than I have whites. So send that at 4 fairy. So used to saying send it at 3 fairy that, you know, it's just become my sad reality to just say it forever now. He may be banned, but in my head, he lives there eternally. Let's try to remember how long it took you to get over Settle the Wreckage. Drown in the Lock. Oh boy. Opponent really is a degenerate. Look at this. Look at this. Aether Gust in a Singleton format. Using Rampage on my Charming Prince. This is what a mean person would do. 3 blue mana being held open. Shocking. I think we'll go for Banishing Light before we go for the Master Core, because I think the Master Core... Oh, never mind. Well, I'm just going to assume they don't have a board wipe at this point. And we'll discard Uro. And get the Master Core down. Now we can start pinging all their Planeswalkers. Which is pretty nice. We have protection from them. And our opponent basically has this turn to find the board wipe to deal with it. Or removal spell. I mean, just any removal spell's fine, but I would like to just really hate on them if I can. Gets rid of Big Chandra, dumps Disdainful Stroke, and that is a flipped Azcanta. We do have Field of Ruin. Draws 4. Okay, so we will deal 1 damage to Teferi. Opponent will draw 4. So what website did you get your deck from, Zinc Pro? It looks very familiar. Memorial of Jesus into the yard. Alright, so we can force our opponent to block with their 3-2. We already have the mana to kill 4 fairy already, so, you know, could do that. We could also go for Field of Ruin. We'll see how they do. We're going in first. Yeah. Obvious block is obvious. So yeah, we could Banishing Light to Fairy and do a Field of Ruin on the Azcanta. That's probably honestly better. We will grab double green, double white, double blue. Opponent's played all the Jumpstart. My goodness. Yeah. I think we'll just Banishing Light. Go for a land next turn. Land next turn, and it means this Master Core doesn't actually matter. If they do have the board wipe for it. They've already drawn 4 cards, so... You know. I kind of want to not incentivize them to use the board wipe necessarily. Cast down. Yep, sure. Come on, Immortal Sun. Give me a land. Oh, thank Christ for that. Alright, when it matters, Immortal Sun shows up to save the day. So we've seen Angrath's Rampage, so really I think there's Bedevil and that's really about it. Or Bouncing, I guess. Revenge of Ravens. Could be troublesome for sure. And Cracks with the Evolving Wilds. I do wonder whether or not I go for the Ageless Insight. Since we do get the extra draw with the Immortal Sun anyway. We could have 3 cards a turn. I could get down Vivian just to look at the top card of my library as well, though. So we've already drawn for our turn, so like playing Jolrael into Uro is not going to do much, technically. Let's do Uro. There's no way this leaves me with enough blue. Yeah, that's a shame. I think we'll just go Ageless Insight for now. Play, tap land, pass the turn. So we're drawing 3 cards a turn with shutting off Planeswalkers. Should be able to dig our way back into it, and we don't really care about Jolrael. So if they've got removal, they can use it on that. It's a reasonably nice setup we've got here, I would say. Ravenous Choop. Yeah, so if we'd have played Uro last turn, they would have just gone after Uro and we'd have lost that kind of value. Whereas now they're less likely, ooh, hello, to have what they need. Let's do Field of the Dead, making some Zoms, which are 3/3s. Nom nom. I think we'll go with Uro now. Do I have any Graveyard Synergy? I don't think I do. Elspeth Conquers Death. And that's really about it. Okay, so we'll keep a creature in. If I was to ECD, who would I want? I guess probably like Spark Hunter Mastercore is still pretty good. Alright. Uro comes down, draws me a card, which is actually 2. And we have a 7/7. Beautiful. Put a Thriving Heath into play and name... I guess green. Make a zombie. And Carve and Carry added. So, something to note. Oh, by the way, draw 2. Something to note, we could spark double the Uro. However, why did you not eliminate Uro? He's 3 mana. Oh. Something to know that spark double would come into play. You can have 2 lands. Go on. I mean, if they take that Bedazzle, you know, we lose Field of the Dead, which is fine. But, you know, when it comes to Atris, 9 times out of 10, you expect people to just take the 2-card hand, so keep that in mind. But yes, my train of thought has been ruined. Spark Double, if it was to copy Uro, it would also have the sacrifice it unless it escaped clause, which is definitely something you don't want to be dealing with. Alright, so instead of bedazzling us, we just get to keep making some zombies, which is nice. We can Cavalier and get rid of the Revenge of Ravens, but we don't need to do that just yet. We could do Chillane first. So we can start bouncing and making everything useless. And then we'll do Cavalier of Dawn, draw a card, which is actually 2. Put a land into play, make a zombie. Kill Revenge of Ravens, because we don't care about anything else. Play a meal, I guess, which draws us 2 cards. No land, unfortunately, but that's okay. And our opponent has had enough after the screams of a meal. Enter the field and crumble our opponent's life total to dust. Pretty good. Pretty good. We actually really popped off there, and our Planeswalker hate certainly came into effect quite strongly. I like it. But yeah. Time for one more, I guess. Let's go for one more game. Alright, we're in. My game isn't crashing. Let's have a look-see. We've got turn 2 Fibblethip, and we can actually flicker it, right? Yeah, we can. I think I'm going to keep this hand. It's another 2-lander once again. But in this particular hand, that actually might be okay. Ooh, could go Jolril first. As the Marshal says to me, we might be going against like Mono White Weenie or... Almost certainly Mono White Weenie. I was going to say it could be Boros, but there is no way in hell my opponent would play a Prowling Caracal before Armonkhet comes out. And do it seriously while, you know, not playing a different colour. To put other better cards in. So, anyway. We're going to take 3. We're actually, I think, shocking in for the Carven Caryatid here, which will actually make us a lovely 2-5 to block pretty much everything our opponent ever wants to do until the end of time. And also make us a 2-2 from the Jolrail as well, if it doesn't die here. Which appears it is not. Yeah, not very good start for our opponent, and we should be able to punish that very nicely. We could just go with a Fibblethip to make a 2-2. You know, I think it would be equally as effective, but I don't know. This just seems like it would be a seal the deal kind of thing, you know? So let's do it. Bam, 2-5 with a 2-2 attached. And a land. Fantastic. Okay. You love to see it. So from here, next turn we're going to be able to Fibblethip and draw our second card for the turn again. It's a shame we can't do I can't do Cultivate first, but that's okay. Good cards, you say? Yeah, let's just do a Fibblethip and go wide again. Our opponent's entire plan is going wide and going fast, so the more we can slow that down, the better. And yeah, we'll just keep passing. Eventually, we will outvalue our opponent, because I have to imagine that our things are just better than theirs on average. Yep, and gain some life. And see how they want to attack. They don't at all. Okay. Sparky D. Sparky D could become Vivian. I think that's okay. So we'll go Vivian. We'll set that up as a land on top, which is perfectly acceptable. Vigilance. And yeah, pass the turn. Again, as long as we are going wider than our opponent at all times, they will never win this game. So they can send the Ministrant wherever they want. If they can make some spirits eventually down the line, I'll be able to Thorn Mammoth, and that'll be fine. So I'm just going to let them have some spirits here. Since I also get to Vivian minus with Spark Double, and I get a 3-drop, which I don't actually know what that would get me necessarily. Give me a Baron. Yeah, I guess a Baron's okay to get rid of Rustwing Falcon or a Spirit at this point. So we go minus with Vivian, Spark Double, get a 3-drop. I think it's Baron. Actually, it's probably Deputy, actually. Deputy, get rid of the spirits. It's a 2-for-1. There you go. There you go. And if I went with something like copy Deputy, that would be okay. Or I could just go with Vivian and start making loads of 3-drops. Yeah, I think that's okay. Let's just make some more beasts. And this one will have reach. Play a land. We could blink here to get a creature with Jolrail. I think that's okay. Let's just get rid of the Carven Caryatid Flicker. Draw a second card for the turn. There's a Rejuvenator on top, okay. And yeah, let's just pass the turn. The 2/7's kind of slowing us down. Admittedly, otherwise I might have started attacking here. Again, this game's just in the bag. There's nothing our opponent can do. They ain't winning this. Tithe Taker's making my spells a little bit more expensive, which is why they look like they're not affordable right now. But the reality is that Thor Mammoth, I think, is just going to get minused off of the 5 loyalty Vivian here. And it's going to get us something exceptionally large. Could be a Tolsimir. Let's see, what's at the top? Thrag Daddy. Opponent not reading my creatures. Or maybe giving up. It's one or the other. I'd accept both. Oh. Yeah, it was not reading. Okay. So we're going to -2. We're going to Thorn Mammoth. Good game. And I don't think we were going to get to choose what we were... Don't get to look at what we were going to choose there, but I think it was like a Tolsimir. Tolsimir fight something. I mean, as I mentioned, we were just going to go absurdly wide, and then eventually we decide how we want to win, which is probably draw until we get Finale of Devastation and then create a hoof with this insane board. Or turn everything into like 4/4s or whatever with Jaw Rail. I think that's also okay, and then we swing through, force our opponent to make some massive blocks and win that way. Pretty good. Pretty good. I think we got time for one more. That was fairly short. Alrighty then, let's have a look-see. We have turn 1 Thriving Heath naming green into Gilded Goose and Paradise. Yeah, don't really follow up into much more after that though. Another 2-lander, by the way, followed by another 2-lander, followed by a 3-lander. Okay, we're going to keep this one. This one seems okay. We will dump the... I think we just want to dump a little bit at the top end. And I feel like it's probably a land that we go for here. Go with Tranquil Cove, I guess. Temple Garden tapped. We might just lose on card disadvantage alone, but I think having a little bit of enchantment and artifact removal, a bit of Planeswalker interaction seems pretty good. As hands go, it could be worse. And there's a 3rd land at least. Great Hoof is the last card we want to see. In fact, if we never drew it in the entire game ever, that would honestly be maybe ideal, since we could get it with Finale of Devastation. Okay, or even Kamal's Druidic Vow. Anything like that. As long as it's not in our hand, it's usually the best place to be. Ooh, Dream Eater. Okay, so we could actually use Night of Autumn to eat the food. It's a ramp tactic after all. I think that's fine. It's a 5-color land that we're just shutting off here. However, temporarily, of course. But we can always flick a Night of Autumn late down the line, and Dream Eater's not too far away. Good stuff. And yeah, let's get in for 2. I think we did cut our opponent off a color. If they are super friends, it's exceptionally important. But yeah, they can do their food thing here. I don't think going for the Prison Realm on Gilded Goose was really what we wanted to do there. If they can play something off of it, we can Prison Realm that instead. It's going to be a Selvala. Wow, okay. Well, that does want to actually leave the battlefield in some form. I think we'll go with the Dream Eater for that. And we get to draw a card. Guardian Project, love it. Oh, man. Oh, man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's a Field of the Dead online. Which we do want for Crater Hoof. And then we want Tristani. And then we do want Faith's Fetters. Yeah, maybe like that. I actually think we all want all of them. Bounce their Selvala. So that they don't get to use it. And swing for 3. So we can do Guardian Project, Field of the Dead. And then Tristani comes down and draws us some cards. I don't think going after Selvala is... Oh, we had one Forest, bugger. Really thought we had Field of the Dead online. That's okay, though. It's still a pretty good sequence. Do we have... Yeah, we've got no lands coming up, have we? Awkward. So then Naya. Naya with a 5/6 with reach. Okay. So we get to draw a card off of that. That's probably Prism Realmable. Yeah, I was keeping this just in case it was Super Friends, because I figured it could still be. But it certainly isn't. I think we're just going to Prism Realm. Put Faith's Fetters to the bottom and get rid of Cavalier of Thorns here. And then we get Thorn Mammoth next turn, so we can draw a card and fight Selvala, and also draw another card off of Selvala, which is filthy. We'll swing like this. Put our opponent to 7. And yeah, if we ever draw the land underneath Thor Mammoth, which, you know, the amount of draws that we're going to be getting here will definitely help with that. Then we've got Crater Hoof trampling through as well, which is very filthy. So yeah, it looks like they were like nigh a ramp then. Oh, they're actually 4-color ramp? I guess so. Tachiova draws cards when lands enter. However, Selvala says no. So now they can add 2 extra mana there. Alright, so we go Thor Mammoth. Opponent cries. Because I get all the value and they don't. Yeah. Let's let their Sylvana trigger for us. We will definitely draw a card. And there's a land we needed. I think that'll also make a zombie. Ooh, Brazen Borrower. Okay. We'll draw a card later. Make a zombie. And swing with Dream Eater. And we should have the win now. Got 8 lands. If we draw a land, we got another one. And then Crater Hoof comes through and gives +4/+4 or +5/+5. We'll see which one. I have a hard time seeing that not doing enough here. Like, even if they went for a board wipe, they're on 4 and this is a 5/5 haste, so should be all good. Alright, Ghidorah gets to chaos its way into a 1/1. Solid. Absolutely top tier. Chromatic L. And that is their turn, and I think they are dead. We go Crater Hoof. We draw 2 cards. We give massive amount... Oh no, we don't draw 2 cards. We only draw the 1. But we still swing for a massive amount of damage, and yep. Our deck takes the victory. Okay. Yeah, I kind of misinterpreted what our opponent's deck was, and obviously didn't notice I had 2 forests there, so I could have played a little bit smoother. I think we would have always taken the Field of the Dead, though, to be fair, so I don't think the forest line was really much of an issue, but yeah, we didn't really need that face status. It can be still useful. I mean, it is a pacifism after all, so, you know, it has its uses regardless, but yeah. That's why I don't really, you know, value Selvala all that much. She probably should be in our deck. I don't know. I just don't feel like we've got, on average, bigger creatures than a lot of what our opponent can do, so the card draw could actually come back to bite us, which is why I don't have it. But thankfully, my opponents play it, and I get all the value, so it's nice. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's video. This format is... I want to like it. I think it's just a little bit too dominated with Super Friends, though. But if you tech against them, then obviously you win a little bit more. And the more you win, the more you enjoy Magic the Gathering. We did also get a Core 21 pack, so let's open that, shall we? Got an uncommon wild card. I actually do need them to a certain extent. I've actually got 22. It's the commons I'm struggling with. And Sublime Epiphany. Couldn't care less. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for today's video. Hopefully you've enjoyed. If you have, then make sure to hit that like button and subscribe as well for more content like this in the future. And yeah, hit that little bell icon to get notifications when my new videos go live. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.